Have you ever thought that some habits might be weakening you without you realizing it? In this video, I'll reveal 7 common behaviors that sabotage your strength and confidence. Based on the principles of Stoicism, I'll show you how eliminating these habits can transform your life. Get ready to discover practical strategies that anyone can apply to achieve a life of purpose and fulfillment. Let's embark on this journey of self-discovery and change together. Topic 1: Lost in life. Once upon a time, there was a young man who, despite all efforts to enjoy life, felt deeply lost. Without direction or purpose, the sense of emptiness grew within him, day by day. He spent his hours searching for something he couldn't define, immersed in distractions that only temporarily alleviated his restlessness. This led him to frequently question the meaning of his existence. Even surrounded by people and activities, loneliness and lack of clarity dominated his thoughts. In his desperate search for meaning, the young man often found himself reflecting on his weaknesses. He saw himself repeating habits that, instead of helping him, kept him trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. This cycle prevented him from appreciating the beauty of the little things around him. He felt that if only he could find a reason for his actions, he could escape this mental prison. It was as if he were sailing without a compass in a sea of uncertainties. Many times, he looked to Stoicism for answers, admiring the great Stoics and their teachings. However, applying these concepts in real life seemed like a Herculean task. The theory was clear, but the practice constantly challenged him. He knew he needed something more concrete, something that could transform his thoughts into actions. The question was, how to do this effectively? Amidst this confusion, he recalled advice he had heard about setting clear goals. But the simplicity of this advice contrasted with the complexity of his troubled mind. It seemed easy on paper, but when he tried to define his goals, confusion dominated once again. However, something inside him whispered that this could be the key to finding his way. Perhaps it was time to give this idea a real chance. The young man also realized that his weaknesses were exacerbated by negative habits he cultivated unconsciously. Social media, procrastination, and the incessant search for external validation were like anchors keeping him trapped. He knew he needed to break these patterns, but inertia was powerful. It required a monumental effort to change, and he felt that perhaps he did not have enough strength for it. Despite the difficulties, there was a spark of hope. He began to think about small changes he could make, one step at a time. He recalled practical examples he had heard, people who had transformed their lives through small daily habits. This gave him a bit of courage to try, even if his initial efforts were timid. After all, any progress, no matter how small, would be a victory. One day, while reflecting on his journey, he found comfort in the idea that everyone, at some point, feels lost. This did not diminish his pain, but gave him a sense of belonging. He was not alone in his struggle, many others also faced similar challenges. This understanding gave him strength to continue searching, even if the results were not immediate. He also realized he needed to be kinder to himself. Every small failure was amplified by his severe self-criticism, which only increased his sense of weakness. Learning to accept his mistakes as part of the growth process was crucial. Only then could he really begin to build a more satisfying life. Accepting his imperfections was the first step to overcoming them. As days passed, the young man began to make small changes. He set simple and tangible goals, like waking up earlier and reducing time on social media. Each small victory motivated him to continue. Gradually, he felt a slight change in his perspective. There was still a long way to go, but for the first time, he felt he was in control of his journey. And so, the young man continued, one step at a time, towards a more meaningful life. He knew he would still face many challenges, but he was determined not to give up. The road was long and full of obstacles, but each small achievement brought him closer to his purpose. And deep down, he felt he was finally beginning to find his way. Topic 2: Advice from the wise. One day, the young man met a wise person, someone who seemed to have the serenity and clarity of purpose he so desired. Curious, the young man shared his feeling of being lost and directionless. The wise man listened attentively and, with a smile, advised the importance of setting clear goals to find meaning and fulfillment. He said that without an objective, life is like a journey without a destination, always at the mercy of the winds of uncertainty. However, the young man initially dismissed the advice, finding it too simplistic to solve his complex problems. Weeks passed, and the young man's feeling of emptiness did not diminish, on the contrary, it seemed to grow. He continued to be immersed in his weaknesses, trapped in habits that brought him no benefit. One night, remembering the wise man's advice, he decided to reflect more seriously on the suggestion. At first, the idea of setting clear goals still seemed difficult, but he began to understand that without a north, any path would seem wrong. Perhaps it was time to try something different. Inspired by the wise man's words, the young man started listing things he would like to achieve, no matter how small. It was not just about big dreams, but small steps that could give meaning to his daily life. For example, he decided to learn a new skill, such as playing a musical instrument, something he always wanted but never had the courage to start. Setting this small goal gave him an immediate sense of direction and purpose. As the young man began to follow the wise man's guidelines, he noticed a gradual change in his perspective. Setting clear goals was not just about achieving big objectives but also about giving meaning to small daily actions. Each achievement, no matter how small, brought a sense of fulfillment and strengthened his self-esteem. He found himself more motivated and less prone to give in to his weaknesses and negative habits. The young man also noticed that by setting goals, his mind became more focused and less susceptible to distractions. Before, he spent hours on social media, unaware of the time passing. Now, with clear objectives, he began to manage his time better, dedicating more hours to productive activities. This new habit not only increased his productivity but also significantly reduced his stress and anxiety levels. Even so, the journey was not easy. There were days when the young man felt like giving up, when the goals seemed unattainable. At those times, he remembered the wise man's words about resilience and the importance of persevering. He learned to be more patient with himself, understanding that progress is a continuous process. Each small step toward his goals was a victory, no matter how modest it might seem. To strengthen his new routine, the young man sought examples of people who had overcome similar challenges. He discovered inspiring stories of Stoics who, through the practice of their principles, managed to find peace and purpose amid adversity. These stories encouraged him to stay firm on his journey, knowing that transformation is possible and within everyone's reach. It was just a matter of moving forward, one day at a time. Moreover, he began sharing his experience with friends and family, which not only reinforced his commitment but also created a support network. The exchange of ideas and advice helped keep the motivation high. The young man realized that by inspiring others to set their own goals, he also strengthened himself. It was as if each piece of advice he gave brought him closer to his own purpose. Over time, setting clear goals became an intrinsic habit in the young man's life. He felt he was finally in control of his destiny, navigating with more confidence and clarity. The wise man's words echoed in his mind, constantly reminding him of the importance of having a clear objective. He knew this was just the foundation of a full life, but an essential foundation that would help him face any future challenges. And so, the young man continued his journey, now with a compass guiding him toward a more promising future. He understood that setting clear goals was a crucial step in overcoming his weaknesses and developing positive habits. And by doing so, he not only found purpose but also built the resilience needed to face the adversities that arose in his path. His next challenge would be dealing with procrastination and distractions that still threatened his progress. Before we continue, if you are enjoying the content, please leave a like on the video. It's quick and will help YouTube recognize that our content is relevant and recommend it to more people who could benefit from these ideas. Topic 3: Procrastination and Distraction. The young man, now with clear goals, faced a new challenge: procrastination. Even knowing what needed to be done, he constantly found himself postponing important tasks. Social media, with its incessant flow of information and entertainment, was one of the biggest distractions. Each notification seemed more urgent than his own goals, leading him to an endless cycle of procrastination. The frustration grew as he realized how much this was preventing his progress. He began to notice how procrastination was directly linked to his weakness in maintaining discipline. It was an ingrained habit that needed to be faced with determination. Instead of succumbing to the temptation to delay his responsibilities, he decided to adopt a more structured approach. He divided his tasks into small time blocks, following the Pomodoro technique, where he worked intensely for 25 minutes and then took a short break. This helped maintain focus and reduce distractions. To combat social media distractions, the young man took drastic measures. He disabled notifications, limited usage time, and even installed apps that blocked access during work hours. Although these measures seemed severe, he quickly noticed the benefits. With fewer interruptions, his productivity increased significantly, and he felt less stressed. These changes did not completely eliminate distractions but reduced their impact. In addition to practical techniques, the young man also turned to Stoic teachings to strengthen his mind against procrastination. He read about the importance of self-control and discipline in texts by Seneca and Marcus Aurelius. He learned that procrastination was a form of weakness that could be overcome with constant practice. Inspired by these philosophers, he began practicing mindfulness, dedicating a few minutes daily to meditation to increase his concentration and mental clarity. The practice of mindfulness brought unexpected benefits. Not only did it help reduce procrastination, but it also decreased the anxiety that came with accumulated tasks. He felt more present and less overwhelmed. Small habits, like starting the day with a list of priorities and ending it with a review of what was accomplished, made a big difference. These simple but powerful steps helped him face procrastination more effectively. Even with these improvements, there were days when the young man still struggled with procrastination. In those moments, he remembered the Stoics, who taught the importance of perseverance and continuous effort. He learned to be more patient with himself and to see each failure as a learning opportunity, not a reason to give up. With this mindset, he could recover more quickly from lapses in procrastination. The fight against procrastination also involved identifying and eliminating negative habits that contributed to this behavior. He realized that he often procrastinated because he felt overwhelmed or unsure how to start a task. To address this, he began breaking large tasks into small, manageable steps, making it easier to start and maintain progress. Each small victory reinforced his confidence and reduced the temptation to delay. Sharing his challenges and progress with friends and family was also crucial. By talking about his goals and difficulties, he committed himself publicly, which increased his accountability. The support network encouraged him and offered new perspectives on how to deal with procrastination. This exchange of experiences not only helped the young man but also inspired others to face their own negative habits. Over time, the combination of practical techniques, philosophical teachings, and social support transformed the way the young man dealt with procrastination and distractions. He became more productive and less prone to fall into the traps that once dominated him. The sense of achievement and constant progress motivated him to keep improving his habits and seek new ways to strengthen his discipline. The young man knew that the battle against procrastination was ongoing, but he felt more prepared and confident than ever. He was ready to face the next challenge, overcoming his weaknesses by developing positive habits such as setting goals, mindfulness, and resilience. He understood that each step taken brought him closer to a full and meaningful life. Topic 4: Overcoming weaknesses. To overcome his weaknesses, the young man began to develop positive habits that could strengthen him mentally and emotionally. Setting clear goals became a constant practice. He learned to break his goals into smaller, more manageable objectives, making progress easier. By achieving these small goals, he felt a sense of accomplishment that motivated him to continue. For example, he decided to read a book a month, starting with Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which offered valuable Stoic teachings. The practice of mindfulness became a powerful ally in the fight against his weaknesses. The young man reserved a few minutes every day to meditate and focus on his breathing, which helped calm his agitated mind. This practice not only reduced anxiety but also increased his mental clarity and ability to concentrate on his goals. He discovered that with a calmer mind, it was easier to deal with daily challenges and avoid negative habits that kept him trapped. Developing resilience was another crucial step in the young man's journey. Inspired by the Stoics, he began to see obstacles as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Facing difficulties with a positive attitude helped him build a stronger mindset. Instead of lamenting problems, he asked himself what he could learn from each situation. This new habit transformed his way of facing life and increased his self-esteem. To complement these habits, the young man adopted a physical exercise routine. He knew that a healthy body contributes to a healthy mind. He started with simple activities like daily walks and stretching, gradually including more intense exercises like running and weightlifting. Physical activity not only improved his physical health but also released endorphins, helping to maintain a positive and resilient state of mind. Adopting a balanced diet was another habit the young man incorporated into his life. He realized that nutrition played an important role in his daily energy and disposition. He reduced the consumption of processed foods and increased the intake of fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins. This dietary change not only improved his physical health but also had a positive impact on his mental clarity and ability to concentrate on his goals. Additionally, the young man began to cultivate the habit of constant learning. He read books, attended lectures, and participated in workshops that expanded his knowledge and skills. Each new piece of information was seen as a tool to strengthen his mind and overcome weaknesses. He became especially interested in topics related to Stoicism and personal development, always looking for ways to apply these teachings in his daily life. The young man also dedicated time to reflect on his actions and decisions. At the end of each day, he reviewed what he had done, identifying areas where he could improve. This habit of self-reflection helped him learn from his mistakes and adjust his strategies to achieve his goals. Keeping a journal where he recorded his thoughts and progress proved to be a valuable tool for staying focused and aware of his growth. Seeking inspiration in stories of other people who overcame similar challenges was a constant source of motivation. The young man read biographies of historical and contemporary figures who, through perseverance and discipline, achieved great feats. These stories reinforced his belief that overcoming weaknesses was possible and encouraged him to keep working on his positive habits. He saw these people as examples that with effort and determination, anything is possible. To maintain consistency in his new habits, the young man established a structured daily routine. Each day began and ended similarly, creating a sense of stability and predictability that made it easier to adhere to his goals. He learned that consistency was the key to turning positive habits into an integral part of his life. Even on difficult days, the structured routine helped him move forward and stay focused on his goals. As the young man strengthened his habits, he felt increasingly prepared to avoid negative habits that once weakened him. He was ready to face challenges with confidence and determination, knowing that each step taken toward his goals brought him closer to a full and meaningful life. The next step would be learning to avoid behaviors that undermined his strength and confidence. If you are appreciating these valuable lessons and want to take your Stoic journey to the next level, we have something special for you. Introducing our ebook, Wealth and Wisdom: Stoicism as a Path to Financial Prosperity. This practical and inspiring guide combines ancient Stoic teachings with modern financial strategies to transform your financial life and develop a balanced and resilient mindset. For just $14.90, you can take the first step towards achieving financial prosperity and true balance. Don't let uncertainty and financial stress control your life. Invest in yourself today and discover the power of Stoic wisdom to achieve true wealth and financial serenity. The link to purchase is pinned in the first comment of the video. Don't miss this opportunity. Topic 5. Avoiding negative habits. To become a stronger and more confident person, the young man knew he needed to avoid certain negative habits. One of the first steps was to stop mocking others. He realized that this behavior not only harmed others but also undermined his own integrity. Instead of criticizing, he began practicing empathy, trying to understand others' perspectives. This new habit not only improved his relationships but also helped him develop a more positive view of the world around him. Taking responsibility was another crucial point. The young man recognized that he often avoided responsibilities for fear of failure. But he learned that true strength comes from facing challenges head-on. He started accepting more responsibilities at work and in his personal life, which made him grow. He discovered that by taking the initiative and leading, his confidence increased, and he felt more capable of overcoming any obstacle. Wasting time was identified as one of the biggest villains in his journey to strengthen himself. The young man realized how much time he wasted on purposeless activities like binge-watching series or aimlessly browsing social media. He decided to set clear limits for these activities, reserving time for more constructive hobbies. Learning to play the guitar and reading inspiring books, like Letters to Lucilius by Seneca, became part of his routine, providing a renewed sense of purpose and satisfaction. Reflecting on his habits, the young man noticed that he often got carried away by negative thoughts. These thoughts fed his weaknesses and undermined his self-confidence. He began practicing cognitive restructuring, a process where he consciously changed his negative thoughts into positive ones. For example, instead of thinking, "I'll never make it," he started telling himself, "I can succeed if I try." This shift in perspective had a profound impact on his mindset and resilience. The young man also committed to avoiding the habit of constantly comparing himself to others. He understood that everyone has their own journey and that comparing himself to others only brought frustration. Instead, he started focusing on his own progress and the improvements he was making. Celebrating his achievements, no matter how small, helped him maintain a positive attitude and continue moving towards his goals. Another negative habit he decided to eliminate was procrastination. He knew that delaying important tasks only increased stress and anxiety. To combat this, he continued using the Pomodoro technique and kept a daily task list to ensure he stayed on track. Each completed task was a small victory that motivated him to move forward, reinforcing his confidence and discipline. Avoiding excessive self-criticism was also essential. The young man realized that being overly critical of himself only hindered his growth. Instead, he started practicing self-compassion, acknowledging his faults without judging himself harshly. He understood that making mistakes is part of the learning process and that each error brings a valuable lesson. With this new attitude, he felt freer to experiment and innovate without the paralyzing fear of failure. To maintain these new habits, the young man created a support system. He surrounded himself with friends and mentors who shared similar values and encouraged him to be better. Participating in discussion groups on stoicism and personal development also helped him stay motivated and committed to his goals. This support network was a constant source of inspiration and encouragement, essential for his continuous growth. Over time, the young man saw a significant transformation in his life. He felt stronger, more confident, and in control of his destiny. Avoiding negative habits was a vital part of this transformation, and he knew that the work didn't end there. It was a continuous process of self-improvement and growth. With these new strategies, he was prepared to face any challenge that came his way. And so, the young man moved forward, aware that true power lay in his ability to choose the habits he cultivated. Each decision made, each habit adopted or avoided, shaped his trajectory. With these lessons internalized, he was ready to inspire others to follow the same path of self-discovery and personal growth. Now that you know the 7 habits that weaken you, it's time to act. Which one will you eliminate first? Think about the positive changes these actions will bring to your life. Are you ready to transform your routine and achieve a life of purpose and fulfillment? Share your experiences and challenges in the comments. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to keep learning and evolving. Together, we'll overcome our weaknesses and build a stronger, happier life.